Hello everyone, it's Quenchers here today, and I'm doing a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be talking about marketing. And when it comes to gaming, I think it needs to, well, I think we all know it needs to change. So I'm here to sort of say what I think would work way better than anything else that they're doing. And I'm going to be citing sort of, recent blunders, such as the Dragon Age reveal kind of trailer, as well as, and then how they kind of made ground back. And then I'm also going to talk about like what what people want to see, I think, as a customer, because I play so many games and I love seeing, games and stuff like that, as well as, not seeing flashy trailers, because that it starts to put me off too much that they're pushing all this fancy, scenic looking stuff and the player character walking through free cam stuff. It doesn't do it for me anymore. And personally, I'm going to say 100% that gameplay footage, straight up as a reveal trailer, would probably be a breath of fresh air. Putting all your cards forward first and be like, hey, look what we've done here. Then comes oh, look at the scenery. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Look at the other. It needs to be inverse now. I think people have had enough of the scenic looking kind of stuff and, oh, look at this, look at that, oh, look at this breathtaking vista. It doesn't resonate with me anymore personally, as well as a few other people I've talked to. They're like, yeah, it does. I'm honestly, these say quotations, I'm not interested in scenic kind of things. It has to be sort of gameplay first now. So I think for like when it comes to marketing a new game, the big companies need to really, really push gameplay first, fun first, you know, because gameplay is 100% of the fun. I'm not going to lie. You can have the best looking game ever, but if it's like just watching a movie with a few interactive buttons, it's bloody boring. So you need to focus on the gameplay. You need to show the gameplay first. I think, having, a teaser trailer and stuff is just like, it doesn't do the pulling anymore. Whereas if you do like a teaser sort of gameplay trailer, maybe like a few, a minute long at least of like gameplay cuts here, there, and everywhere, it would work better than just a flashy scenic kind of thing or CGI. I think it really does make the difference. Now, when I was so we had the Dragon Age reveal trailer, and honestly, I didn't like it. I really didn't like it, and I was like, yeah, this isn't doing it for me. And clearly, from the reflection of the YouTube, dislikes to likes kind of ratio kind of thing, you can clearly see that people didn't like it either. And then as they showed the gameplay off, it looked way more better. You know, it it worked more. It was like, yeah, this looks kind of a little bit better and stuff. I mean, there's still a few issues with that game. From seeing it and stuff, it looks okay, but it just might not be what people fully want from a Dragon Age. And then sort of seeing more and more and more from it, it did get me interested. It's like, oh yeah, I remember the story to this. This looks pretty cool. But what put a major block down was the reveal trailer. I think the marketing team at either EA or BioWare didn't really talk to the developers or anything, and kind of just went off, yeah, it's Overwatch, it's not it, and did that kind of introduction. Whereas Dragon Age is more of a gothic, dark kind of fantasy, and it should have been reflecting that for I'm not gonna lie, people who are the core community have been around this game for ages. That's your target audience. If you want to get new people in, get another game title, get another IP, and get a new audience in from the beginning. That's way better to do it. I know you've got like when you've got an established brand, it's easier to get that, but at the same time, your core audience may drop off completely and you will lose way more money than it is to gain new people that will only play your new game for a little bit and might even refund it. So it's just like, yeah, you need to, play your cards correctly now. You need to cater for your audience. And if your audience has been around for like, since the Dragon Age 1, then you've probably got a great audience right there, but and you want to tap into it. Yeah, you want to try and bring in new, people, but at the same time, you want to make the game for your core audience, and that's the long time DA fans, Dragon Age fans. And if you don't, you're just gonna lose and lose and lose. Like casual gamers won't stick around like hardcore fans. And not gonna lie, there's beginning a sort of theme of no one's getting really addicted like they used to be to an IP or brand, and it could be because the long time fans are kind of growing tired of this the the BS with their current games that they love and fun, and it just falls apart, and then you lose fans and lose money, which isn't a good thing. So you want to make sure you get it with your current audience. And an example of this from the Xbox sort of game showcase is Gears of War. It looked fantastic. It was in engine, I think, kind of gameplay. Well, not gameplay, but it was like it showed off. Of course, it's not what I wanted. I wanted to see gameplay and all that stuff, but I think this was a very early teaser to be like, "Hey, we've got a Gears of War coming," um, kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, it didn't get me hyped. I was like, "Yeah, looks cool. That's okay. You've let me know. I don't, this could have been an email." Uh, but it was cool. It was cool, but it wore off quickly because it was so CGI, not CGI, but like, you know what I mean? It was so choreographed. I don't think there's going to be in the game at all. It was just presented within a game engine with custom animations and stuff like that. So it's just like, okay, yeah, you're doing in engine cinematics kind of thing, but at the same time, it's not gameplay or anything. It doesn't get me too excited. I was like, wow, get the other Gears of War. Oh, okay, never mind. Kind of thing is far off, I reckon. Um, So yeah, so what I think you big companies need to do from now on is you need to have a gameplay reveal as your reveal, snippets of gameplay, and it needs to be like, as you grow, it needs to have a clear narrative of a cat player customization and growth. So at the beginning of the trailer, you see yourself, oh, I'm not really that great. And then by the end of the trailer, you're performing some really cool moves. And that needs to show that there is progression. And, the armor needs to look fancy and stuff like that. That's how you would do, I think you should do it. Just so like, oh, this has got progression. It's got this, that, and the other. And of course, that's for like RPGs and stuff like that. With like, Gears of War itself, it's mainly just shooting, showcasing some cool weapons and stuff, and then kind of like some little story cinematics within it. But it needs to be core gameplay is like or take cover, shooting, jumping over, stabbing, kind of thing, chainsawing, bayoneting, shooting, boom shotting, that kind of stuff. And it needs to be gameplay. And I think people would grow more like, hey, that looks pretty cool. Of course, if it's just, and then it needs to show like, oh, maybe, as you go through the campaign, you gain armor customizations, you gain weapon customizations, kind of thing. So who knows, really? So it's just like, keep showing your systems through gameplay. And I don't feel like they do that anymore. They just do these teasers and stuff like that that people, it honestly, they don't grab my attention anymore. I think people and the customer base has kind of gone, okay, yeah, whatever. It's a cinematic trailer. I don't care. Oh, it's an in-engine sort of trailer with custom animations and stuff like that. I don't particularly care. Whereas if you just come forward, full gameplay trailer, and that'll be it. And then come all those cinematic sort of, like scenes and stuff like that afterwards, like like Starfield, how they just did all like panning shots and everything of all work and slow motion walking. That's it needs to be after the fact that does of your gameplay and stuff. Once you not reveal, but like you showcase some of your systems and stuff. Um, and that'll get people more excited and stuff. But you need to make sure it is genuine. It's not edited and stuff like that. It just needs it needs to come across as you're not hiding anything that's crap, basically. It needs to be genuine. And yeah, you can hype it up with set pieces that are in the game. They need to be in the game. There is, deception in marketing as that is in the gaming industry. I feel is at an all-time high, and it's really not good. So it needs to be changed completely, and hopefully it will as time goes on. But it really needs to go back to back to basics. Hey, here's the gameplay. Have all this, have all that. Enjoy. People can dissect it and have nice fun. Like, oh, for a reveal trailer, they revealed like all the gameplay and everything. Like, I've never heard of this game before. It's great, or that kind of thing. Always like, oh, uh, DA5 or whatever we're at now. Oh, it showed all the gameplay first and some of the systems and the cool powers first. That was a great reveal. It showed everything, and it needs to be more engaging like that than just like these crazy Overwatch-esque cinematics for you know what I mean? It wasn't good. I mean, the dislike ratio clearly shows people don't want that. So I think what people want is the gameplay first. And I think then comes like, your cinematic trailers, your scenic trailers and whatever after that. But you need to put everything up front to get them like hooked first. And that's what you need to do. And then it's like little tidbits, little drips until the game's revealed. I mean, like until the game's out, and you just like people are just loving this and stuff, but they still got the gameplay to like reassure them to be like, yes, I've seen the gameplay now. Because if you do it inverse and you show them tidbits and stuff, and then you show them the gameplay, and the gameplay is lacking, it doesn't work. People won't make that purchase. Like even though you just showed them the best, cool scenic shots of everything, and then it comes to the gameplay reveal like a few months before um it's out, people are not going to be interested. But also this could, it's getting on to people. Really, people are clicking onto it. It's like, oh, we're seeing all the scenic stuff, and then the gameplay reveals and it looks utter crap, and it's close to launch, so I'm not going to buy it. um Whereas I think if you come forward with your gameplay first, see how the people react, adapt, make the edits, take proper, feedback and stuff, it will link to a better product, and it will show that the company listens to feedback instead of being, keep the heads down and be like, no, we're not doing this. Oh, it's our way or the highway. You don't get what kind of thing. The whole point of making games is to entertain people, right? And to, it, it was just that. And the money thing was like an additional great thing. Of course, everyone wants to make money and stuff like that. But like, making a game that people actually want and seeing people suggest things like, I would love to see X, Y, and Z in this. Um, and it's not far off, but can you do this and stuff? And some things within the reality and, being able to ship the game and fully test it kind of thing. Um, like people always want, what do you call it? A transmog system within games. You see some cool armor, it's got crappy stats, but the armor looks fantastic. They play the game more, they find, a really cool armor, but they want the aesthetic of that other armor they found earlier. They can transmog it into that kind of style. Like Assassin's Creed, what was it? Odyssey. They had this cool transmog system, so if you found armors, you can, that was great. And then they started monetizing it, which is just stupid. Yeah, not in Odyssey. I think in other games. I think can't really remember, but I remember seeing a big issue about it at one point. Not too sure if they changed it or what. But either way, the that kind of marketing style now, I think it would be better for customers, and it'll make them more happy with their purchase. That the first thing they see is gameplay, full gameplay. Like a minute long trailer, and then probably it goes on to like an extended cut of that trailer that could be like 15, 20 minutes. And then all the scenic sort of setting the scene for the gameplay, to complement the gameplay and convince people more like this game looks awesome or whatever. And then, then the purchase date. Whereas I think they're just doing it all backwards. They're like drip feeding a little content here and there, and then the gameplay, and then people gone, it's not that great, and then they don't buy the game. Whereas if you and then it could also build a thing about your studio trust. If the gameplay isn't quite there and people don't like it, you ask for feedback. you read the feedback, and then you make on that feedback, make your game better. Do another sort of like soft reveal, launch kind of thing with extended gameplay, showing more of those systems they suggested to add, and then it'd be like, and then you could do like a few Twitter posts saying, "Hey, we listened to you. What do you think now?" And if people see that your company will listen to them, they are more inclined to buy it. They were like, "Hey, these guys actually listen to stuff. I feel like I've been heard. This feels really cool. This is the game I want now because they've listened to me. They've put the things in. I want this. Looks cool, and I'll get it because it looks cool now." After listen, they feel I guess more like, oh my word, they actually listened. All these companies don't usually listen. They've listened, and you've seen that with like Helldivers and stuff, how they listen to feedback and stuff like that, and then they implement it within their game. And some other companies do that, so it it works. It's been seen to work. Just with Arrowhead, they're a smaller company, so they can't put everything in all at once, but they are working on it. They've listened to feedback and been like, yeah, we could do that. That's so cool. So it's like, yeah, it just takes time for a smaller developer. That's all. Whereas like your big AAA ones, there's no excuse really. Um, so yeah, that's mainly about my uh sort of ideas about the marketing place now within gaming. I feel like people are sick and tired of all these small teaser trailers and CGI trailers, in engine trailers that not really in engine. They're more just like animations set up within the engine to showcase the graphics and stuff and not actually in the game. People just want to see the gameplay and make the decision there and then. And I think it's more honest marketing instead of deceitful marketing, because that's a big thing in the, like I said, it's a big thing in marketing and the gaming industry, the film industry, everything. It's so deceptive and I don't like it anymore. It needs to be honest. Just be honest. you know, and then, take feedback and develop on it. Make the best product you can, you know, kind of thing. As you used to, we used to do this, but we don't do it anymore because it's all about money and being deceitful. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the state of marketing within gaming. Really, it needs to do this, and some companies have executed greatly on it. But and that's why that's where I get this kind of like feedback from it. I'm learning like, oh, I've seen, the Helldivers stuff. That looked interesting. The initial CGI trailer got me interested, but and then I forgot about it because it was like, yeah, it's not gameplay. I don't care, and completely forgot about it. And then when it sort of did its next sort of, kind of gameplay thing, I saw through like, I think it was PlayStation, and that was because I didn't remember the gameplay reveal at all. I mean the cinematic trailer. I didn't remember it at all, but as soon as as I saw gameplay, I was like, "This looks fun. This looks really fun." And I had no influence from the first reveal. It was just CGI, and I was like, "Yeah, don't care. Next." And it was it wasn't even a blip on the radar. But then it showed me gameplay, and that's why I'm taking that sort of feeling of when I saw gameplay and applying it. I think people need to do this first. Gameplay first, then some of your scenic shots and all that stuff, peeling back, showing maybe a bit more of the story from the gameplay and stuff. Then, like a minute of gameplay, and then like maybe a few days later, the extended cut of that's like 50 minutes to 10 minutes long. And then you're sort of drip feeding until the game releases, kind of thing. A little more details here and there. And I think that works because I think people are still like, "Well, the gameplay looks ace. I'm going to be watching that for ages." And then when you see little droplets and stuff of the gameplay, not gameplay, but like the scenic stuff, it's like, wow, the gameplay looks amazing and the environments look amazing, and all the story snippets we're seeing looks incredible. I love this. That's what you need to do, and that's the reactions you'll get, and you need to get in order to, because I'm not gonna lie, the economy is crazy. Inflation's nuts. So games and everything are all way more expensive, especially in Britain. So, prices are up. You've got to make it worth it by basically creating a great game and revealing it correctly, because we've seen it done incorrectly. Right, that's all from me. I just wanted to talk about the gaming marketing. It just seems to be so strange and backwards and deceitful. So it needs to be corrected. Right, that's all from me. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.